Well, my idea is a fail because I wanted you all to be able to see the fountain behind me. But unfortunately, the way my car is, the fountain is below that little part in the back. So unfortunately, you can't see the view that I was trying to give you all. That's that. It's not gonna stop me from chatting. It's lunchtime. We're just gonna sit here in the car and eat real quick. Hubby made some chicken salad. I was holding my camera trying to find the water in the background, and I'd have to hold it like way up here because the back end of my car is quite higher. But anywho, I just finished my chicken salad. It's empty. Since I'm sitting here in the car, and I know the lighting isn't gonna be its best because I did turn around thinking that I would be able to show you all the water. Actually, why don't I turn? Okay, you know what? Let's turn back around since you can't see the water anyway. And then this way I can see. Actually, we'll go under the tree right here. And we'll be a little bit in the shade. I don't think it did any better though. It's gonna be the lighting that we're gonna have for this video, all right? It is what it is, right? We are batting 1,000 today, and then here comes somebody in their golf cart who's gonna be staring at me because they're gonna think I'm talking to myself. It's all right. They're just gonna be right there. So we might hear people talking and babies getting excited because they see the turtles, which I'm not opposed to. Once again, I am picking up this camera at a time that I didn't think I would, and I'm gonna share something that it happened today. I need to be editing, right? But instead, I'm going to talk to you all about this because it happened today, just a little bit before lunch. And I feel like I need to share it because I feel like there's someone that's going to benefit from this. And I need to share it as soon as possible. I don't have my mother and my father. And this is going to end up being one of those tear jerkers. I think I'm going to cry. There's a lady that comes in and volunteers for us. And I think she's about 83, if I remember correctly, which is the age that my mom was when she passed away. She's a sweet, little, tiny, little petite lady. She comes in and volunteers. She does our packages for us. Puts together like these packages that we give out to the guests in the summertime. For a while, I couldn't figure out why I had such an attachment to her. Whenever she'd come in, I would just feel very drawn to her. And then one day, I was helping her move the box or the containers once she had them full. She was trying to get a lid off and she couldn't. I said, do you want me to help you with that? And she said, would you please? And she showed me her fingers, which I had never paid attention to, but she has arthritis in her fingers. And so her fingers were, very much showing signs of arthritis. And then it hit me. My mother had rheumatoid arthritis. My mother was in a wheelchair for 20 years prior to her passing. I watched my mother lose the use of her legs and her hands gradually. I watched how she fought so hard to maintain the person that she was before this had taken so much of her life. And it hit me that I was drawn to this homeowner for a couple of reasons. She was the same age as my mother when my mother passed away. She had arthritis in her fingers and her hands. And she was the sassiest dresser ever because even though my mama was in a wheelchair, you can bet your last dollar that she was gonna be as cute as she could possibly be. She had all the little sweatsuits, all the little velour ones, and oh my gosh, she wore those little babies to death. That was her way of making it real easy for her to get dressed. Today, I was sitting at my desk, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to be very honest with you all right now. There was a person walking in, and I was thinking, I don't want to deal with you right now. So I kind of got up and I started to walk to the back because I thought, I'm gonna bypass this person and let Violet help them because I'm not in the mood right now because this person can be a little bit difficult sometimes. And I'm thinking that, but I have really nowhere to go to the back. Like I'm literally walking, thinking, where am I gonna go? Am I just gonna go in the kitchen and turn around and come back out? But then I looked to my left and there stood the volunteer and she was working on packages. And I looked at her face, and her face looked very, very sad. So I walked over to her and asked her if she was okay, and she said, yeah. But that yeah wasn't a good yeah. So I said, are you sure? I said, what's wrong? Talk to me. And she said to me, I'm just depressed. I do not like people using the word depressed as just, how you doing today? Depressed. Like, I don't want it to be this daily activity that people just love blurting out, because I think in the social media world, it has just become such a thing, and it gets views and it gets all kinds of recognition if you come on camera and you state that you're being medicated because you're depressed. Like, it blows my mind. Is it that people join YouTube because that is a form of outlet for people that really are depressed? Or there are people that are on YouTube and have become depressed because of the world that social media sets up for them? Or other people literally just using it as an scapegoat, a way to get views, a way to have people to offer sympathy for them? I guess it's probably a little bit of all of the above. I don't know, but I do not like just blurting out the word I'm depressed. But there was something about it when she said it that melted my heart. She would never say it, in my opinion, to gain empathy or sympathy. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's really feeling some type of way today. And I said, well, honey, why? What's going on? Like, talk to me. And she says, I think it's just because I'm alone. I'm lonely. I'm by myself. I said, did your kids come see you this summer? And she said, no, they couldn't afford to, and I couldn't afford to send them. She lives on a fixed income. Right away, I put my arms around her and I just held her. There's something to be said when you're lonely, when you're feeling all alone. And I had just this morning shared that I was feeling like I was in my lonely state again. My lonely don't compare to her lonely. Like, I am lonely just because I miss San Antonio, but I'm not lonely. I have a wonderful friendship base here. But we have a lady that is in her senior years, and she feels very lonely, depressed, as she said. As I was holding her, she goes, you're gonna make me cry. So she pushed me away, and I said, you know what? We're gonna have to do lunch one day, my treat. And I sincerely want to take her to lunch, and I want to do some things with her. I am blessed enough to be 83 years old, and I pray to God that I am. I want some lady or somebody to take me to lunch one day just to lift my spirits. I want somebody to show me some form of act of kindness. As I held her, I felt her pain. I guess what I want to say and what I'm feeling right now, we're in a world right now where people are just mean and ugly. It's real easy sometimes to forget about your parents or your neighbors, people, because sometimes I think being around old people, for lack of better words, can become depressing, because then you think about, oh my God, I'm going to be that way one day. And people have all kinds of reasons that they stay away from old people. But I encourage you, I beg of you, I ask of you to, the next time you walk past a person, male or female, that's up there in years, stop for a moment and say something to them, offer some form of kindness to them. If you've got a neighbor, or even if it's your parents, because I know sometimes I think people feel like their parents become overwhelming at times, and because the older you get, we get feeble and we get in our old age era. We can tick people off sometimes, right? Like, I'm putting myself in there because I have seen myself change, and I'm only about to be 60 in a few days, so I can only imagine. And I know my mom, sometimes I'd be like, Mom, like, she'd say some of the darndest things to me. She didn't mean them, but she was in that era where she didn't have a filter. I'm saying that to say there's someone out there that probably have been offended by something that their mom or their dad said, or even a sister or brother. Like, you know, you can have siblings that upset you because they're in that state, right? Pick up the phone and call them. Reach out and hug them. Do something beautiful for them. Okay? Just do that favor for me. Because one day, you might need the same thing given back to you. If you made it this far and you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. Turn on your notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you are a returning subscriber, you already know the love I feel for you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.